Okay. I think we're going live here. Let's make sure we wait to make sure this is actually working. Okay. Yeah, so give me a second here. What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining me on today's live. Let me set a couple of things up. We'll get things going. Yeah, if you're joining me now, from wherever you're joining me, let me know where are you chatting from? How's the weather over there? How are things? How's your new year? Go ahead and start filling up my chat here, and we can definitely address some of those things. Say what's up, um, as I'm setting up all my windows and screens here. All right. Once again, Instagram not working out the way that I wanted to. All right, we're gonna try to impromptu and install Instagram. If I can get that, if I can get that going. Maybe I can't. Maybe I can. Maybe I won't. I don't know. We'll see what happens. All right. Cool. So we got folks joining in. All right. I guess I'm not gonna do Instagram. I don't know why. It should, but it doesn't work. Technical difficulties, folks. All right. So let's see here. I see Hula Hula Coco 144. Hope I said that correctly. You're saying that you love today's topic because, well, actually, I'm going to read in your words. I like today's topic because I think we are isolated here in the known land areas, and I think the Antarctic Circle is slowly moving. I think the movements of the sun create Antarctica. Okay. And then your question was, when are you doing and when are you going to interview Dave Wise again? I love that man. So I will be interviewing him soon, within the next probably 2 or 3 months. So definitely look out for that. There were so many different areas of the whole flat Earth conversation that we never got to address, even in the last two episodes. But I will be also bringing in someone who's equally as knowledgeable as Dave. His name is Nathan Thompson. So you guys can catch him on TikTok. He's on YouTube, mostly on TikTok, on Instagram as well. He goes around in an RV that he bought, and he goes around the country, and he's just a flat Earth advocate. And he speaks, shows demonstrations, just kind of goes around and stops people, and I think he asks them things like, "Do you believe in a globe Earth, or a flat Earth?" And then he meets all these group of flat earthers, and they eat and they talk and conversate. They go on lives. So, anyways, Nate Thompson, if you're out there and you're checking this out, man, just sending you a shout out. I'll be having him here on the show here soon. He's just an amazing, really nice guy too. Really, really, really nice guy, and very smart guy. So yeah, I look forward for that conversation. Jessica Love, hi from California, near the Mexicali border. Good to see you. Good to have you joining us here, joining me on the live. I think it's going to be a great topic. So let me do some cleanup work here, and kind of get some of these promos out first, and then we'll hit the intro, and then we'll start today's topic. So I hope everybody's doing good. Again, once you come on, let me know where you're chatting from. All right, so I have a Discord, folks, the 369 Collective. You guys can find me there. You can find a lot of like-minded souls. As I'm always reminding you that you're not alone in this. You are not alone in this. If you don't have a community locally that you can talk to, or if you're not already part of another group, Telegram, Discord, Facebook, whatever the case is, and if you're trying to find one, find us on the Discord under the 369 Collective. We have a great group of folks, very knowledgeable, very kind, very welcoming. They like to share what they've learned, their experiences. If you guys are like, if you guys come across the same interests, they're also willing to just kind of meet up with you privately and continue that conversation offline. So a lot of good people out there, and it's just good to have a community when you have things you want to get off your chest and talk about, or maybe kind of need help figuring something out. Having a community like the 369 Collective is definitely helpful, practical, and even at times very therapeutic. So give that a shot. At Tone Blair from Cali, hey buddy, thanks a lot for joining the live today. Really do appreciate you engaging here. So I offer mindsight workshops and I do private sessions. Okay. And folks, I do apologize. I may be a little bit kind of slowish, a little bit sluggish today. I do apologize. I've been going through a lot of different, been doing a lot of different projects throughout the day. So, but the show must go on. The show must go on. Let me grab some water, please. Yeah. So again, that's not an excuse, just kind of letting you guys know where my head is at the moment. So yes, I do offer mindsight workshops and private sessions. If you're interested, if you guys have seen some of my episodes where I demonstrate mindsight, where I have had guests also demonstrating mindsight as well. And it's something that resonates with you and something that you feel like I can do that. Well, the answer is yes, you absolutely can. Everybody can do this. And what I do in my sessions is I teach you techniques that have worked for me. And I offer it online, folks. So there's no need to go to a seminar. There's no need for you guys to fly across the planet, pay thousands of dollars. It's affordable, it's local, it's well, local in the sense that you guys can do it from the convenience of your own home. So go to my website, beyondthefrequency369.com. There's the mindsight tab, and you'll see all the details that you need to know about the session. And then there's also obviously a button there for you guys to schedule your session with me. So I look forward to meeting all of you. We've had plenty of I think I have a list. I think there's at least over 63 or 64 clients that I've already had already, and we have a great time, and we follow up. Once you sign up and have a session with me, I'm locked in with you. I become your mentor if you guys decide to keep me as one. And you guys can always reach out to me, email me, chat me if you have questions, if you have progress, if you open up your window, like all these different things, you guys can just reach out to me with no problem, and I will definitely respond back here. So, all right, and let's see here. Hey, just another avatar. Good to have you on here. Thanks for joining. Some of you, I know I'm in the Eastern time zone, if you don't know that already, in the Tampa, Florida area. So if you're joining me from any other time zone, I know some of you are coming back from work, and maybe on your way back from work, or just got home from work. So I appreciate you guys taking the moment to just click the button and join me on this live. Very much appreciated. It warms my heart. So I do acknowledge this. Regarding the mindsight, so if you guys haven't seen already on my social medias and on my YouTube channel, I posted that I am doing a workshop. Okay, so I have an upcoming workshop for mindsight. That means that it's not private. There's a lot of people. It's on February 7th, and I have 11 slots total. Okay, 11 slots total are going to be for this workshop. 9 of those are paid. Okay, and 2 of those I'm giving away for free, but not just giving away. Okay, to earn a free slot, it's a first come first serve basis. If you meet these 3 criterias: number 1, you have to be a subscriber of the channel. Number 2, you have to be a member, become a channel member. And number 3, own a copy of the book. Okay, what book am I talking about? That's Kaizar's Chronicles, The Anunnaki and Us. It's a book that I wrote. It's geared towards children. You guys can also find that on my website, and you guys can read all about it. It's being sold on Amazon, $8.99 for the ebook, $13.99 for the paperback. It's 33 pages. It's not a big long read. Again, it's geared for children to give them the opportunity to introduce to them the word Anunnaki and give them a little bit of a forbidden knowledge that they probably won't find at their local library or schools or anything like that. So yeah, support the show by buying the book. But in regards to this situation, this will be one of the criterias for you to get a free slot in the upcoming February 7th True Vision or Mindsight workshop. And channel members, as a perk, you get 30% discount. Okay, so if you do want to, if you don't have the book, but you just want to still be a member in this upcoming workshop, then just go ahead and reach out to me. All the details are on my webpage on what you need to do. I'll send you a private link. You go ahead and pay with a 30% discount, and we're good to go. All right. So there's that. I did mention becoming a channel member. Becoming a channel member, folks, there's no obligation, there's no pressure on this, but what it does, it definitely supports the show. It allows me to do more projects. It allows me to also do further research outside of my studio. I can actually go to places and find out things that we've talked about, verify, confirm, and even at some point here that I'm looking forward to here in 2026, be able to go to a location where I can meet a lot of you. Okay, we'll do a little meet and greet and things like that. So there's a lot of opportunities, but I definitely can't do it alone. So this is why, if you become a channel member, you buy the book, you buy affiliated merch and things like that on my channel. It definitely goes into that cause. So I appreciate all of you here. And also, more importantly, when you become a member, you guys get to do fun things like this. At the end of this month, January 28th, will be the first members only live stream. So it'll be this, but just for members only. And the difference between the two is that you will have the call-in option. So you guys will be able to, instead of just chatting and engaging in that format, you'll be able to call in. I will provide you a link on the chat, and you guys can just click and just turn on your mic, turn on your camera if you choose to, or just do audio and just be part of that conversation, but live and in color and in person. I'm excited about this. This is one of the reasons why I do lives. I want the engagement. I want to talk to you. I want to hear from you, because it's not just about what I'm saying. It's also about what you think. It's about what you've experienced, what's interesting to you, what you agree and what you don't agree with. I want to hear it all from you. Also, on these member only lives, I will also be discussing things that I cannot normally discuss on a publicly live broadcast such as this. I will be able to answer some of your questions without worrying about it being flagged or anything like that. So there's going to be a lot of perks to this, but if you're interested, become a member. January 28th, first time for this show. We're going to do a members live only, and I will be joined by just another avatar who's on the chat right now. He will be just another paid member who is actually engaging everywhere, social medias, on the channel. I want to show him so much love, that because he supports this channel so much. So I said, who better to join me on the first members only live than just another avatar. So buddy, I can't wait to see you and talk to you and just have this moment with you at the end of this month. So again, I'll be doing 3 lives throughout the month as I do now, and then on the 4th Wednesday of every month, I will be doing the members only live. So again, all the details you guys can find on my website if you need further clarification. Creo Iman, what's up, bro? Thanks a lot for joining this live. Really do appreciate you for joining, and everybody else who's coming along. Again, I appreciate you guys just being here and being present. Okay. So now that we got that knocked out of the way, let me hit the intro, grab some water here as well, and let's get things going. So give me 1 second here. All right. And yep, this should be it right here. What if I told you that everything you know is just the beginning? Beyond the veil of the ordinary lies a realm of hidden knowledge, ancient wisdom, and untapped potential. A place where consciousness expands, reality bends, and the impossible becomes possible. You weren't meant to stay asleep. You were meant to awaken. Open your mind, remember who you truly are, and step with me beyond the frequency 369. All right, there is that. There is that. All right. Yeah, just another avatar, man. Hey, no problem, buddy. I cannot wait. So I'm excited just as you are. So it's gonna be a good time. So let's get to it. Once we get to January 28th, it can't come any sooner, right? All right, so let's get things started. So, folks, as you guys saw on my thumbnail, I am going to talk about behind the ice wall. Okay. All right. We're going to talk about what's behind the ice wall, and I'll get more into what I mean by all of that here in a minute. So, again, welcome to Beyond 369. This is the live current where we go beyond the guest, beyond the surface. We do this live, and you folks, you are the current. Okay. I'm your host, Caesar Pagan. All right. Before we start, just take a breath with me. Okay. Let your body settle where you are right now, because what I want to talk about tonight isn't meant to be rushed through. Okay. It's meant to be felt. So let me ask you something. What if the edge of the world was never the edge at all? What if Antarctica isn't the end of the map, but it's a veil? I'm not here tonight to convince you of anything. I'm just going to talk, share what I've noticed, share what keeps showing up again and again from different angles. And you folks, you can decide what resonates or doesn't. So I ask you to vibe with me and just listen. Okay. And well, not just listen, engage. Okay. At any point here, as I'm talking, I might get into the zone, into the flow state. Please engage. Let's talk about what's on your mind as well. As I was putting this together, I'm thinking, man, where do I start? Because there's so many different angles that I can start. I was going to find all these different pictures and maps and things like that, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to mention things. You guys can watch it on the playback. You guys can Google it or pull it up or do your own research. But I would suggest all of you that when you are doing your research, what you're reading, take it with a grain of salt. Okay. The first answer isn't always the right answer. You may have to go to a second, third, fourth, fifth source. You may also need to go outside the internet, go into books, go into old stories, look up old maps, see what's showing on those old maps. I'm talking about like 1700s, like go way back, go to your local library, do actual research. Don't just go on the internet or chat GPT and just type in, are there people on the other side of the ice wall? And then ChatGPT is gonna say, no, there's not. And then there's end of story. Okay. So again, I encourage you to do your own research. Okay. Um, so let's start with something that we're all told is very normal. Back back in 1959, multiple nations signed what's called the Antarctic Treaty. Okay, and I don't know if you guys have seen this. You guys can actually Google this while I'm talking. There's an Antarctic Treaty. There's a map that shows you all the different nations in Antarctica that signed this treaty. So basically, it says Antarctica belongs to nobody. Okay, no war, no weapons, no ownership, only peace and research. And on the surface, that sounds amazing, right? But here's why my mind always slows down when it comes to this topic. These same nations, the same ones signing this treaty, are constantly in conflict everywhere else on the planet. Just think about that for 1 second. All right. Borders, resources, belief system. Yet somehow here in Antarctica, everyone agrees. Everyone agrees in this one little spot. So, this is the only place on earth where war is not allowed. Interesting, right? War is allowed everywhere else, but in this one place. And yet, and yet, it's protected by military presence. Now, folks, when you research this, what I just said, that there's military presence there, when you research it, you're probably going to find the answer from Google or whoever. It's going to tell you that, no, there's no military there, right? Well, if you want to stick with that answer, that's fine. That's okay. I mean, what's the other option? You go fly yourself to Antarctica and see for yourself. It is an option. But how many of you are actually going to go do that? Just sit with that for a moment. How does a no war zone require guns? Okay. Let me go here to the chat. Let's see. All right. Nathaniel, I'm trying to put you on the screen here if I can. Really curious to hear you talk about behind the ice wall, out of body versus physically. The same realm can look very different, either in body using physical eyes versus out of body. Okay, so that's a statement or a question there, but yeah, we're going to talk about it, and I think we'll address both there. Okay, so that's gonna be fun too. And just another avatar, you're saying the Freemasons known this truth, and it's part of proving up from second to third degree. Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Like with the man, actually, that's a whole different episode too, though. But the Freemasons, I don't know if you guys ever seen their depiction of the world, but they have these like four pillars, right? So they have this like flat Earth, this like firmament that looks kind of like a snow globe effect, and then on the four sides of this flat earth there's these pillars, right, which some would call it the four corners of the earth. Okay, but they don't hide that. They're just like, yeah, there's this is what the world looks like. Here's the pillars that hold the world. Like, they're pretty much kind of like saying like the world is on top of a table, so to speak. Okay, so you guys do your research on that. Google what the Freemasons depiction of the world is, and you'll see that actually their their depiction of it looks just like all the other uh ancient civilizations, from the Mayans, the Egyptians, the Aztec, the what do you call it, the Vikings, like all of these. Everybody has always depicted this flat earth picture with this firmament, except for NASA. NASA just one day just kind of came in and said, "Hey, this is what the world looks like," and then everybody's like, "Oh, okay," and that's it. And then you have some folks out there like the flat earthers who are pushing the envelope there, and they're asking these questions and they're proving this, and and I like that. There needs to be that. There's so much about divinity that we don't understand and that we won't understand until we're back into that energetic source. Once we're back to source energy. So for everybody trying to say, here's what it is, if anybody tells me or tells you this is what it actually is, it's up to you. It's up to you to say, okay, I accept your truth. It really is. Okay. You don't have to accept truth just because somebody in an appointed authoritative position is telling you this is what it is. Okay. You have authority too. You can actually you can leave your body, right? We're talking about outer body experience. You can leave your body, go find out yourself, come back, tell people what you saw, but it's up to those people then to decide if they want to accept your truth. You know, people like to stay within their comfort zone. They're like, yeah, I don't know you so well, but I do know that the government, like, they're always going to be protecting us, and why would the government lie to me, like things like that, right? People are just complacent, so it's wild. Okay, so let me just continue here. Just another avatar says, let me put this up here. Each of the four pillars has a name as well. Yeah, absolutely. And so, and again, that might even be actually just another avatar. If you want to bring some of this information on the members only live on the 28th, that'll be fun too. We can talk about that too. I just don't want to dive too much into that, but yeah, no, good knowledge, and this is why I like you guys engaging. So, all right. So where was that? Oh, so we're told that there are research stations at in this circle area in Antarctica. And sure, yeah, there are. But let me ask some simple questions, right? Like, can regular civilians just go there? Can families live there? Can independent explorers freely travel wherever they want? No. The answer is no. Most of what exists there is government or military controlled. Why is that? And there's reportedly only one civilian linked facility there, and it's usually associated with discussions of the Rockefeller name. If you guys don't know about those guys, look those guys up, right? And again, why only one? Everyone's military outpost, one very famously well known name, civilian, non military, is allowed to be there. Think about that. Historically, when the military sets up somewhere, it's not because they're just curious, it's because something matters there. Something needs to be protected or controlled, or, like most things, kept quiet. And that's not fear talking, folks. That's pattern recognition. Okay? It's a rinse and repeat concept. Okay? Now, here's where things get really interesting. There are religions that are not allowed to fly. Oh, not religions. There are regions that are not allowed to fly over there. Okay. So places you can't freely travel to, right? Expeditions, if they try to do that, they get turned away or worse, or worse. Okay. Here's what makes sense to me. Guarding a bank makes sense. Guarding a private facility makes sense. But an entire continent? Come on. An entire continent. The earth does not belong to governments. It doesn't belong to corporations. It belongs to you, humanity. Let me know in the chat if you guys agree with that. So when curiosity itself becomes restricted, that's when I start asking all of these questions. And this is where you should be asking these questions as well. Now, there's something else. There have been reports through satellite anomalies showing a large opening in the Antarctic Circle. You guys can try to Google this and try to research this and see what you guys find. You might not find anything. You might find AI photos. Okay. But I'm referring to released documents, right? There's released documents that have mentioned this already. Okay. Now, this hole is roughly about 30 to 33 meters wide. Okay. And what's interesting isn't just that it exists, it's really basically where the research is being focused on. Okay. Not around it, not around this opening. They're focusing on what's inside of it. Sensors, measurements, subsurface data. If it was just ice, no one would care. So why security? All right. Why the silence? I'm introducing these questions to you guys for you to take a moment and just think. Okay. To think. Ask the questions that I'm not asking. Ask the questions that as soon as I say certain things, you have another question, right? And feel free to share that with me here on the comments as well. I'm not saying I have all the answers, but let's ask these questions together. Okay. Now, everything up to this point is just observation. Okay. But this is where I want you to lean in just a little closer, right? Just a little differently, right? Because what I'm about to share isn't something I arrived on from just reading one book or one conversation or one experience. It's something that's come together over time, folks. Okay. And when something keeps showing up from ancient texts, from modern conversations, from outer body experiences, from the quiet inner knowing in each of us, okay, I got to pay attention to this. And so should you. Okay. I want to acknowledge Angel Gonzalez, also known as Carlos. Thanks a lot, buddy, for joining the live and being present. I hope you enjoy today's live. Hope all of you enjoyed today's live as well. And if you miss anything, watch the playback and you'll get the beginning stuff too. Okay. Let me grab some water, folks. Thanks. What before I even give my thoughts, like I'm interested, folks, on the live here. What do you think? What do you think is behind the ice wall? I don't care if you guys even say nothing. Okay. That's fine too. That's an answer. Okay. But I'm curious, everybody who's on right now, what do you think is behind the ice wall? Is there something or is there nothing? I'm very curious. So I'll wait for you guys to do that. Or actually I'll check back in here and see what you guys think. All right. So picking up where I left off, what if the ice wall wasn't just ice? All right. What if it's something like a boundary? Not to keep us trapped, but to separate states of experiences. See, folks, across ancient lore, there are stories of advanced civilizations that existed in harmony with nature and consciousness. Places like Hyperborea, Lemuria, Shambhala, different cultures, different eras, same theme. Okay. Humans, I'm going to say that again, humans who remembered who they were. Now, remember that one of my main objectives of this podcast is to help you, to remind you who you truly are before the world, or maybe this side, convince you otherwise. And when I mean this side, let me be clear. I'm talking about this side, the other side of the ice wall. Okay. There's that side and there's this side. So there's humans who remember who they were. Talking about these ancient civilizations too, right? What if that world didn't disappear? What if those worlds didn't disappear? What if it was, or they were, set aside? Think about that for 1 second. I imagine the humans behind the ice wall as familiar. Okay, not superhuman, not gods, just us, but without the forgetting. The humans on the other side of the wall are us, but without the forgetting. Their bodies aren't constantly stressed like ours here. Their nervous system aren't locked in survival mode like we are here, right? They don't live in constant fear of time running out. They understand frequency the way we understand electricity. Okay. Now, what does Caesar mean by that, right? Well, the way we understand electricity, like how to turn it on, how to control it, how to not overload a system, that's how I feel they understand frequency. Not spiritually, but more like practically. Okay. It's just how reality works to them. Okay. I have understanding that they teach awareness early. Unlike here, right? On this side, right? They said they suppress that real quick. We treat emotions like accidents. They treat them like signals. We treat stress as normal. They see it as a system malfunction. You felt it, folks. You felt this. Walking into a room and sensing tension, or feeling drained after a certain conversation with somebody or group of people, feeling restored by nature when you're out there in the green, or by laughter, that's frequency. That's frequency without the language for it. It's just that, it's that signal, it's that energy, it's that feeling. And it's not because they're better. Okay. It's because they never forgot how the system works. Again, the system of frequency. They didn't forget how it works. They don't forget who they are. They know what they are. They know how powerful they are. And here's the part that really sticks the landing for me. They know that we exist. Let me get to the chats here. Let's see here. All right, so I'm gonna try to put these up here. Hulu Cuckoo 144. Yes, nobody owns this earth. Gaia, nature, absolutely. Let's see here. Again, Hulu Cuckoo 144. I think there is thousands other worlds and civilizations probably behind the ice wall. Absolutely. Carlos says other continents. Okay. Nathan, let me put yours up here for a second. Some kind of ruins, archaeology that would rewrite history, showing that modern man people have been around a whole lot longer than anyone thinks. Okay, all right. So this is in response to what I asked earlier about what you think is on the other side. Absolutely. Anywhere, like, let's say you guys remember like the race to the moon, right? The race to the moon wasn't like, oh, like it's about, humanity just or first man, stepping on the moon. And again, which I have my thoughts about that. Some of you might even know too, though. But just for this conversation, a lot of time we're not going to a new place, to an unknown place to explore. We are there to try to be the first ones to find new technology. New technology, folks. Again, ancient technology is new to us, right? If we're like, wow, this is amazing, but to them it's not, right? Because you know they've used it. All right. We find new technology and we re-engineer it or try to duplicate it, and then we call it a new invention, this and that. So yeah, anytime we're trying to go to a new place, like for example, recently, right? We're trying to go to Mars, right? We're not trying to go to Mars to not just build a breakaway civilization. We're trying to go to Mars so we can actually create an outpost there, and then mine the asteroid belt that's right next to it. You guys know that there's an asteroid belt right next to Mars, right? Between Mars and Jupiter. I covered it on one of my other lives. Okay. There's an asteroid belt. All right. And on my, if you guys go back to one of my lives, I explained to you what that asteroid belt is and whatnot. But if we can get a who is it? SpaceX, right? SpaceX lands on Mars. They're like, yeah, we're breaking away. We want to expand, humanity and think. Man, the cover story is beautiful. The narrative is fantastic. Okay, the narrative is what you would expect them to say. Okay, but once SpaceX gets there, they're going to take control, right? First come, first serve. Right now, they have the power, right? And they have the technology. All of these automated rockets that like take off, pick up things, and bring it back. That works. That's fine here on Earth, but it works way better on Mars, trying to send it to an asteroid belt and mine the trillions and trillions of dollars of minerals on these and new technology on this asteroid belt. Yes, I don't want to get too far deep sidetracked it on that, but you guys can research that and make your own thoughts on how that works. Yeah, it's gonna be amazing. Carlos says the ancient future. I love this. I love this. Um, so yeah, I think the last thing that I mentioned was that the humans on the other side of the ice wall, that they know that we exist. Okay. So, and not as, how would I put this? Okay, let me just do it this way. This side of the wall, our world, right? It's not broken. It's just intense. Okay? It's just intense. You can't fully experience limitation if you remember infinity. Okay? So you have to come here. If you are in perfect harmony, peace on earth, whatever the thought is that's on the other side of the wall, in order to have the true human experience where we can die, we can suffer, we get hurt, we cry, we don't have, the best medicine, we're scarce on food, we fight each other, like to have that. If you're reading a brochure and you're on the other side and it says, hey, you want to have the human experience, here's what it is, and you're like, man, I want to have that, that's intense, I want to feel all that. You got to create a place for it, right? You guys see where I'm going with this? You can't feel urgency if you know eternity. Pain sharpens perception. Loss deepens meaning. And forgetting, which is what we've have to had gone through, allows immersion, allows us to fully be part of this human experience. Okay. It's like putting on a VR headset and you're going to go into a game. And as soon as you log in, you get wiped out. You forget that you're even wearing a headset. And now this world becomes so real. And until you find the opportunity to take off that headset and be like, oh wow, that was a different experience that that's not really me, right? That's us. That's how we're having this human experience, right? I My thoughts is we didn't fall here. Okay. I think we entered here. I know how that sounds. I get it. It's not for everybody. But I think we entered this experience. We made a choice. Okay. And maybe, just maybe, this is where experience becomes real. Okay. Let me get back here to the chat. So let me just put this on here. Just another avatar. Every soul owns the earth. We all inherit the earth the minute our soul is born into the current iteration of our avatar. I appreciate that. Um, and then also, just another avatar says, side note, has anyone noticed that the moon mirrors the earth? Not only that, but if it is a mirror, it shows lands beyond the seven continents. And yes, just another avatar. There's definitely pictures on there. You guys can find it on the internet. Some folks are like, oh well, that's just that's fake or that's AI. Who knows these days, right? Who knows what it is? But I know what you mean. I resonate with what you just said. I do believe that, but trying to prove that to the rest of the world, that's the challenge, right? Um, let's see what else here. Carlos, what are you saying here? So let's see. Carlos is saying there's more lessons in forgetting and then remembering than to always be fully aware. Contrast. Absolutely. Facts. I love that. Um Hulu, man, I keep messing this up. Hulu Cuckoo 144. The soul has decided to come here and chosen its own parents, which has brought with it certain starting points for everything in this life. Absolutely love that. Well said. Well said. And then the last one here I'm going to read is Carlos says, we entered through the water in more ways than one. Absolutely. On a side note, before I get back to the ice wall, when you guys just food for thought, when you guys look up at the sky, right? Sky's blue, right? Yeah, sky's blue. But what have you been told when you were a young child in grade school? When you say, "Hey, teacher, mom, dad, why is the sky blue?" Right? What did they tell you? All right. Put in the comments below here and let me know what you were told why the sky is blue. Um, I'll cut straight to it. And then also you also have science that tells you that it's blue because of the reflection of the water. Okay, because there's more water on this planet, right, than there is land. It's a reflection of the water onto the molecules of the water particles in the air, like something like that, right? Okay, sounds good. Could be true, right? Plausible. What if I told you that if we're going along the context of there being a firmament, okay? And when I say firmament, folks, let me clarify something because people talk about this all the time about firmament. It's not a glass dome. It's not a ding, ding, ding. Oh, it hit the firmament, right? You're thinking in a physical mindset. Think energetic. This firmament is a frequency. A frequency. That's all it is. Okay. So if you are not at the same frequency, you're gonna bounce off of it. You're gonna hit it, right? You're gonna yeah, right? But if you're aligned with the frequency, you go right through it. That's it. Now, what I was gonna say was that what if above the firmament, right above it, there's a little thin layer of water. I know. I know, folks. This might hurt a lot of people. But what if what you're actually looking at is water, right? I'm not going to get into the how, right? But look at a lot of the ancient depictions. There's water above, right? What's the old saying, as above so below? Well, there's water below here. Maybe there's water above there, right? People have talked about, the heavens, and about there being water above us. The Who was it? Now I lost who that was. But even again, the Bible talks about, splitting the heavens. The Egyptian lore talks about, splitting one of the deities in half. So half of this deity became the waters above us, and then there's the water below us. And it's right on the tip of my tongue what I want to tell you regarding that. There it is. Um, Astronauts. Go look up some videos on how astronauts train to go into space and tell me what element they are practicing in. Spacesuits. Space suits. Okay? Underwater. All right. Now they're going to tell you all of this stuff about the buoyancy and it simulates. You want to simulate something, folks? NASA, you want to simulate something? Simulate a large vacuum sealed facility and put our astronauts, our actors, in that environment. Water. That's what they train in. Folks, sometimes things are that simple, that obvious, right? If they're training in water, it's probably because they're going to be in water. That's it. Period. Right? But the narrative, they clutter you with all of this, that's not true, or you're speculating stuff. They're clouding you with all of this stuff so you don't think twice about it. So what makes sense to you then when you watch these videos, right? Which again, why does NASA leak out or release videos of how they train? Because sometimes the best kept secrets are put right in the center, in the heart of where everyone can see it. Right? Why would you assume that what they're telling you is what's actually happening? Right? Especially after they've told you that there's nothing out there. I got sidetracked, folks. I got real sidetracked. All right. So we've gone beyond the ice wall and we went to space for a little bit. Let me entertain some of these chats here, because again, this is why we're doing a live. Let's see here. Okay, so Hulu Kulu 144. I think the sky/waters are up there because of electrical pressure. Okay, cool. Let me see here. You also saying we are also lied to that the sky is blue because it reflects color from the sea, but this is also the other way around. The sky is blue. The water is not a color at all. Oh man, look at you. I love that. A little science. And I love how you echoed this comment. Astronauts equal actronauts. I love this. All right. So where was I? Okay, so other life, right? Not just humans, right? So life beyond the wall probably feels calmer, right? Animals are larger, long-lived, less aggressive, not because they're weaker, but because the environment isn't fear-based like it is here, right? Things like the megafauna still roam, right? Winged creatures move through thinner atmospheric layers, right? So the land itself probably feels stable, Okay, no chaos, no constant correction, right? Like Mandela effects and stuff, right? Um, Coherence is the default. Okay, everything's aligned, everything's harmonizing. The wall wasn't built with bricks, folks. It was built with frequency. That's what I think. Ancient cultures understood this. Sound can shape matter. All right. If you guys go back to other research, I've said this numerous times, and so many other people have said this too, and everything is that regarding how the pyramids were built. Okay, I don't believe there was. I'm not gonna get sidetracked, folks, but I don't believe 100 or 1,000 slaves, hold like tons of these huge tons of rocks of these bricks and laid them perfectly side by side all the way up, like 2 million blocks. Okay. No, folks. I think that they had ET help. I think there was ancient technology that was advanced to the humans, but not to the users of it. And these things were built quick. And why quick? Because there's thousands of them around the world, above surface, in the water, on the moon, on Mars. These are structures that were built by advanced civilizations, and you're not going to convince me that humans built them even in places that we haven't gone yet. Okay? All right. No one from Earth took a telescope, like Columbus and stuff, right? They had the telescopes. No one looked at the telescope and said, "Hey, I think I see this like thing. I'm just gonna call it a pyramid on Mars or the moon or wherever outside of Earth. I'm gonna replicate one here on Earth." Like, guys, come on. I mean, we can write a good book on all of this stuff, but let's be real here. Okay, it wasn't humans that did this. Okay, vibration organizes reality. Ice forms where energy slows down. Okay, cold appears where vibration drops. Okay, the wall, I don't think it's just physical. Okay. I think it's a memory dampener. I'm I'm going on a stretch here, right? I think the ice wall is a memory dampener. Okay. The veil, a boundary that lets different experiences unfold without interfering with each other. Okay. Compartmentalize. That's how they do it. Now, let me go back to that opening in Antarctica, right? I don't see it as a whole, folks. And I don't think you see it as a whole either. Those of you that have seen it. Okay. I see it as a gateway. Yeah. A door. A door into the unknown. Not for mass travel, not for escape, but for observation. All right. For observation to see what's going on here. Vice versa. That's it. When you have this huge ice wall that surrounds our planet, right? You got to be able to get in somehow and get out too. Gateway, folks, gateway. It's, I just, it bothers me that those that know, the 1 or 3% that know what it really is, are okay with not telling everybody else. But maybe that's okay. Maybe that's the point. Maybe we need guards at the door to keep this experience flowing as it's intended to be. Right. And folks, if you're wondering where all of this comes from, I'll keep it really simple for you. This is a blend of my own thoughts, my own research, countless conversations with other explorers, ancient texts and lore, my own outer body experiences, and basically my current understanding of our reality. Nothing more than that. Okay. I'm not asking you to believe anything that I'm telling you. I'm just asking you to do one thing. Just listen. Okay. And notice what feels familiar to you. Anything that I'm saying, notice what feels familiar to you, what resonates with you. Okay. And folks, before we wrap things up, I am gonna entertain the chat here in a second, so I'm not ignoring you guys here. But before we close, I want to bring us back here, okay? Because we just went there for a second. I want to come back here. I want you to feel your body, feel the surface that you're sitting on. Okay, take a slow breath in and let it out. Okay, whatever is true beyond the ice wall, you folks, you chose to be here. That's my thought. You chose to be here. So did I. This world does matter. This side of the ice wall does matter. This life matters. Your experience matters. Okay. We're not here to escape Earth. Okay. We're here to experience it fully. Okay. We're here to experience this. May not be what you want to hear, may not be the right answer. I may not be wrong either. But just sit with that. See what resonates with you. Let me go to the comments here. All right, let's see here. Jose 9657 says, we can't leave this plane, at least not physically. And when you reach an altitude of 40 kilometers, all the stars and lights, luminaries disappear, which means that they are probably projected from, oh, okay, you got another part here, from somewhere into the sky, which acts as a 2D screen. And regarding the wall, there isn't actually a wall. It's that the continent itself rises up, and it's the highest, unlike any that we know. And the last thing you mentioned here was, we are here to experience this world. The only way to come into it is in our mother's womb. We descend as spirit into matter. I love that. I love that. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Um, let's see. Hola Cuckoo says, believe, be lie. Believer is be lie ever. I like that. I like the breakdown of that. Everything, Carlos says, everything's right on schedule or schedule or something like that, right? I love it. Yeah, absolutely. Everything's, I mean, it's all happening for a reason. And we think it's like that we think that this experience is a mistake. But folks, what if it's not a mistake? What if this is the experience? All right, when we talk about the matrix and simulation theory, we always use the example of video games, right? You go, before you play a video game, you read the cover, you read the brochure, you read the front and back, and you're like, cool, that looks kind of cool. And then you read about it. Oh, when you're in this game, you're going to be able to do this and be able to do that. And you can create your own character. You can be whoever you want to be. As above, so below, right? So if we have um, the innate desire to be other things, why wouldn't our expanded self want to do that? Right? We're no different. We're in the same image, right? We the same thought process, our wants, are there our desires. When you wake up in the meat suit in this container and you ask yourself the question, who am I? What am I? Go all the way back up to the macro, right? Source, the one, unity, God, whatever you guys want to call it, right? Whatever it was before it became all of it, all of this. It one day woke up and asked itself the same question. What am I? Who am I? And in order to understand what it is, it had to break itself into fragments of itself and try to experience itself subjectively through us, through reality, through planets, through leaves, through animals, butterflies, water. It's reaching out, trying to understand what it is. That's what we do. We do the same thing. As above, so below. As within, so without. So maybe a lot of these questions that you guys have aren't that complicated when it comes to the answers. Maybe your common sense, if you think like, oh man, this is probably why, it probably is. But you have to trust it. You have to trust it. I'm gonna leave you guys with a few questions here to think about. Do you feel like parts of you already remember something, even if you can't explain it? After this conversation, does the idea of a world beyond the wall feel strange, or does it feel familiar? And if this world is about experience, what do you feel called you to experience more? Okay. What 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 do you feel called, you to want to have this experience? If you meditate and reflect inward, you might be surprised that you might remember why you chose this life, why you chose this experience, why you said from the other side of the wall there's a map and you're like, I want to live here. I want to be this culture. I want to be this gender. I want to do these things. You chose it. Drop your thoughts, drop your comments all in the chat, in the comment section where you guys do the playback. I read them all and I sit with them. Okay. So folks, I'm gonna wrap things up. I appreciate you guys just entertaining this conversation with me. Um, what you take from it, it's up to you. Again, I wasn't here to try to convince you guys to believe that there's anything that's on the other side of the ice wall. These are just my thoughts, my research, my understanding, and I'm okay if it's just me. But if you resonate and you have dreamt or remembered life or lives on the other side, share with us, share with the community. Don't forget, I have a website, Beyond the Frequency, beyondthefrequency369.com. You'll find out everything about myself and the show. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok. Reach out, and contact me, questions, comments, whatever the case is. I love to hear all of you. I love to engage with all of you. Again, February 7th, I have a Mindsight workshop. So you guys can go ahead and sign up, go to the website, go to the Mindsight tab and read all the details there on how that works. Don't forget, I have a book. You guys can find it on Amazon. Also, you can find that on my website as well. There's a direct link there too. And what else? And there's other things that I probably miss everything else, but you guys probably have heard me say numerous times. I got a lot of great things coming up for 2026. I have some amazing conversations and interviews that I haven't even posted yet because there's so much stuff going on. But again, some of you will hear about that sooner than later, especially through the members only live streams. And join my Discord as well. Okay, the 369 Collective. We have a lot of great conversations. We talk, we engage. We're a family there, and we love each other. Folks, thank you for sticking with me for this amount of time, taking time out of your day. I hope you guys all have started your new year on the right track. I appreciate all of you for your continuous support, sharing my content, sharing my clips, talking about these conversations. Go tomorrow, go to work and talk about this conversation. See what your coworkers or see what your family and friends, what do they think, and share with me as well in the community. And with that being said, folks, as always, I love you. I see you. I hear you. I am you. Continue to ask questions. Don't be afraid to pull back the curtain and take a deeper look. Push forward, always reaching beyond the frequency.